And we are live. Hello, Casper here. We are looking at uranium. It's been 3 days since we covered uranium last time. So a lot has happened. Yesterday, we dropped like 4%. Today, we are up like 2, 3% for URNM. So crazy movements. So let's see what the chart has in store for us this week and maybe for next week, hopefully. Let's see what happens. As always, follow me on Twitter, follow me on YouTube. And as always, this is not financial advice by any means. It's how I see the market. So please always do your own due diligence and investments accordingly. So let's have a look-see. The energy market today is actually doing quite nice. Let's have a look at it here. But first, no, let's look at the energy market. Today we are looking at this is oil. Big breakout in my view today. We broke the level 72, which we have been talked about, which was a big level. And today we have a big candle here up 2.5%. And now, in my view, we have oil going to the big one, the big 82. You can see here, the big 82. And from there, we will see what happens. But today, for the energy market, this is a big one, very big one. And uh, and yeah, I think we'll get to the 82s. How we'll get there, I don't know exactly, but 82 in my view is the way to go. So oil looking very good here in the short term for July and August. So yeah, and also what's confirming it even more is the OIH, which is the Oil Services ETF. Look at this one here. It's for now extremely bullish, up 7% today, which is insanely huge. You can see here a long-term trend line coming down. So breakout, retest, retest, and now we're resuming again. This right here is very bullish, and often you see the investors going into these ETFs before oil breakout. So this is very promising for oil to go higher because people believe in these companies and they need a high oil price in order to do so. So OIH looking very strong here. Obviously, we need to take out the 335 to really have things going. You can see all the big pocket of air we have here, right? All the way here. So if we break this white resistance here, my guess is we will get right up here to the waterfall level, which I have called it. The squeeze here, we will get up to like the 480, 500, give or take. But this one right here at around just below 500, I think we'll get to once or when we break the 330 resistance. XOP quite similar. The oil and gas explorers, we can zoom in here on the weekly. We are breaking out here of a 8 months long downtrend line here. And the next move is that we will visit the top one here, the golden one at 145, more or less. So a $15 move, that's 10%. And if we zoom out, I mean, overall, long term, very long term, you can see here, big inverted head and shoulders in my view. And we are just working for the right shoulder right here. And we will get to the neckline. And then at some point, we'll break. And funny enough, the nominal value for this move is this high up here. Great alignment for the XOP. And right here, right now, we have, in my view, great risk reward. Let's try to add it in. You can see here, if we are to buy the breakout, we will place the stops below these here. And let's say we run it all the way up, you have a 10 risk reward ratio. I love these very tight stops compared to what you can gain. So yeah, that's how I see it. Very good entry here if you want to play that. So overall energy is looking very good here. Still early breakouts, but I like it a lot. So let's go to the uranium space. U.UN, the Sprott physical. Clearly, we have had 3 weeks with big down, with big red candles, and our golden duo up here didn't hold. Currently, we are below our red support right here, and now the last stance, well, not last stance, but I really do hope that the green, you can see the uptrend here getting tagged 4 times. We will probably kiss it a 5th time here, and hopefully we will get the final rejection and go up. Um, so as long as this green trend line holds, it's all good. Breaking below, then we will take a look at that. Clearly, that would not be in our best interest as a uranium investor. So it's all right. It's all right. Obviously, I would have preferred these to hold, and I thought they would. But again, the market doesn't care what I think, but we have to see how it develops. URNM. URNM. Let me show you. You have seen the previous squeeze that we were in, so I'll not go into that. If you don't know, go back and watch some of the previous videos where I will look at the 2-year time frame, 3-year time frame backwards here. Yesterday, big red candle as mentioned early, and now we are retesting the blue neckline here. The neckline coming across, we're retesting that one. You can see here we're getting a bit of a trace into the close, which is not ideal. So the move today in uranium, in my view, is nothing to be excited about at all. For now, it's just pure technicals, breakdown, retest, and what we don't want to see is a follow through down here. We want to, for some reason, negate the neckline and get back above and catching a lot of people short here. That's what we want to do as a bull. So we will have to wait and see. But right now the levels are clear. You have the level here and you have the blue neckline. These are the ones to look for. So what's this? That's 32.6 and roughly, excuse me, 31.6 and 32.6. So it's a $1 range we have right here, which is where it will be decided in the short term. So let's see next week how it goes. But I can say this, if the energy markets is going to really have a next leg up here or a big move, I would assume that uranium will follow through. That's just my take because it's part of that category. Let's look at some miners quickly. I'll go through them rather quickly because there's not much to talk about. It's been I think, an overall down week for most of them, if not minor green. But let's have a look here. Mega uranium still squeezing up big time here. Wait for the breakout or you don't want to see a breakdown below. So you only need these two trend lines here in my view before you go long. So quite easy to look at. Similar here, the Laramide Resources LAM, exact same thing. You have a squeeze, you don't do anything, you just wait for the breakout to this upside here. The good thing is we have had the 3 impulses low lows as mentioned, so that's your typical 1 to 5 elite wave correction if this is the count. And breaking above here, in my view, would validate that count. So we need to get above 0.44, give or take, give or take. GoviX still, again, quite similar, squeezing down big time. I just look at the move down here. It's just, I mean, I wouldn't have foreseen this a 80% move down here from the highs back in 2021. Just absolutely amazing. Back at where the bull market started, It's crazy, but still, it is what it is, and you're just waiting for a breakout to the upside from this wedge here. It will happen at some point. Could it be a false breakdown? Uh, of course it can, but this to me is just waiting to break out to the upside. So patience, it will come, but it will take some time. Global Atomic looks a bit different, a bit more bearish to be honest, but still we are fighting here, the bulls and the bears, with the long-term golden trend line here. We have the upper rail here, quite well defined in my view, and we really want to get back above this white resistance here at around 3 roughly. And this weekly candle is very bad. At least we're closing on par with the other twos of the bodies there, so that's quite nice. But still, Global Atomic really needs to get going here. Otherwise, this is just a one big rounding, what can you call it, back test, whatever you want to call it, of the golden trend line, and then we will resume lower. So we need to get things going here for Global Atomic. Again, find baseload energy still in a downtrend. You can see how many times we have knocked on 2, not quite here, but still. So I think when we will touch it next time, it will break through. But still, we don't. This is the scenario that we're looking at right now for the next 1 month, next 4 weeks, in my view. Just wait and see what happens. If you break down here, in my view, you will get some very great buying opportunities. So yeah, we can see maybe there is some sort of resistance here. Actually, I would say yes. Let's just add that one in. for good measure. So you can find some good and opportunities there. Also, right now you only have the first spike down and the second spike, so it could be in the cards to have the third spike down to around 0.25 roughly. But let's wait and see what happens for the break. Until then, it's all big squeeze, and we don't think about it more than that. Encore Energy looks a lot better compared to Find. You can see the squeeze here. We have broken out into the highs here at around 3.8. And now we're just doing a big retest down here. And this is where we need to hold and curl back up again. You can see it here. It's quite well defined. So next week, we want to see a big green candle here. We don't want to get below, obviously. But for now, it's it's bullish as it gets until proven otherwise. You could argue that you have a bear flag here, I know, but still, let's see what happens next week. Encore Energy, again, big squeeze here. Oops, excuse me, big squeeze. Not much to add. Just wait for the breakout or the breakdown here. But I think overall, this is a big inverted head and shoulders just waiting to go higher at some point. Just need to have some patience here. Denison Mines, again, very quickly, a big squeeze. Don't think much about it. I mean, at least we are above this dotted one here, the internal. We are above now, so that's quite good. So we are in the more bullish side of the wedge here. But ultimately, we want to have the breakthrough, a breakout here. I don't think we'll get it in the third try. Fourth is often the charm. So let's. But then again, we have to wait and see. Right here we have Can Alaska. It doesn't look good right here, as you can see clearly. We are hopefully at a double bottom here, but we are peaking below this golden trend line. So that's not good in any measure. If you want to play it a bit more different, you can also do like this. That might be a bit more correct, right? We have exactly the lows here. We peak down here, and now we're peaking down again, closing below on the weekly. So Can Alaska is more to the downside compared to the upside, that's for sure. The chemical, the blue chip of them all. I'm going to the daily here. Still very bullish. You can see the highs, the golden trend line, retest, retest. And you can also see, let's zoom in here for you guys. Let's zoom in. We are in this one here, this bullish wedge. Oh, that's not quite clear, but you get what I mean. So this is where it will happen, right? Hopefully we break to the upside. And if we do, the remaining uranium miners will follow at some point in time. But this is very important for the overall market to have this wedge here go to the upside and not having this being one big fake out and then we just scoop down here. That would be insanely bad for uranium. Excuse me. So yeah, this one I like a lot actually. This is the UEC. We are at the third touch of the golden trend line here. Big whip below here, and now just look at how to say glued we are to this golden trend line here. In my view, no hard rejection at all, and this favors a move to the upside. Yeah, I think for the next week we'll finally break through because often you see big rejections, right? Then boom down into a bear flag, down again bear flag. But this time around we are just in a bull flag actually, just below the golden trend line. And if we break to the upside, we will go all the way up here in my view for the blue one at around 4. Maybe we need a down trip here down to the blue one below because we are in this wedge, as you can see here. So maybe we need a small down trip and then we cut to the upside. But still, this looks very good now after we broke this one here, a higher high here, and we'll just need to see how and when we break this, in my honest view. FUU, a fan favorite, you can say. Still looks very bullish. Big retest up again here, and now we're just having a pullback here again, a retest, how you want to call it, and you have the level here, the tops here, which we need to break above. So in order to get this thing going to the upside, you need to break above, let's call it 0.38 in that range. Looks good. This is overall very good. The third impulse low, second, third, first, second, third, my bad, and then breakout, retest, presumption. Textbook. Textbook. Looks very good until proven otherwise. Last but not least, let's look at some ratios. I have four, I think, yeah, four. I just want to show you. This was the big bull market against URA against XLE, the energy. And this was when we broke down here late December 2021, where XLE outperformed URA. And ever since, it's just been one big downtrend. So ever since the breakdown, bearish formation, and here we are making a double bottom with a higher high compared to there. So what I think will happen here is we were in this blue wedge into, oh, excuse me, into this one here. You can see the golden trend line coming down here. So we had a wedge pattern. Let's go to the daily. The daily right here. We had a wedge pattern. Let me just be a bit more precise. Into the golden trend line here, getting tagged, broke down, and I think this will be where we make the higher low in some way or form. So this is pure technical. It's actually quite beautiful, to be honest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 breakdown. So yeah, hopefully we'll call up here again and we will hit it the fourth time again. The fourth time is often where we break through, as you know. Similar to the gold chart, the fourth time we will touch the all-time high will be the breakthrough, in my view. Okay. This is just to show you the uranium spot price against the nat gas, excuse me. This actually favors nat gas big time because this is my very old drawing here. So we are now breaking down as foreseen, retesting the golden trend line here. And this actually favors nat gas to outperform uranium. But that's not a bad way in any case for uranium. It just means that nat gas will go up higher or faster compared to uranium spot price. So nat gas looking good here at least against the spot price of uranium. The second last chart here is XLE, so the energy sector divided by the SPX, right? So this was the bottom again, late 2020, where energy started to rip it. One big inverted head and shoulders, as you can see there. And ever since we blasted through a bit of a pullback, and now we are in a blue bull flag into, as you can see, long-term golden support. And we're actually bouncing here. Let me zoom in. It's quite interesting here. So we are bouncing. You can see here 2 weekly candles, green, and hopefully we can get above the smaller one here. And then finally, but not least, we can break out above the blue bull flag here, meaning, which is very important, that the market is going to favor energy more than the SPX, meaning the bigger money will see this and say, we need to allocate more money now into energies compared to SPX. And that's where we will get all the momentum again, in my view. At least that's one place to look at it for momentum. So this one needs to hold here. Let's wait and see what happens. Last but not least, again, XLE against URNM. Go away with you. Just looking at this squeeze here. There it is, perfectly aligned for you guys. So we had this is XLE divided by URNM. So if this goes up, meaning XLE is outperforming URNM, you can see the formation here, breakdown, retest, and then we're just right now in a go away like this. So it's in after the retest, we actually went back into the wedge, but still broke down, and now we're just broken out of this blue here. So that's quite interesting to see how it will act after this. But to me, the most important is that we have broken the golden trend line coming here, and we just bounced off the double or the support here. So let's see how far this one goes. But I would say that we are going to go a bit higher maybe, and then we will go down here, and then we will see what happens here. Interesting ratio for sure. Yeah, a bit of a longer video, but it has been a crazy week actually for uranium. If you go back to the URNM chart, last day down 4%, today bouncing a bit back. Yeah, let's see what happens. At least the XOP, OIH, and oil looks insanely good here, and which could start in a kind of a shorter term run to the upside, which will, as mentioned before, it will drag uranium with it, I think. So have an amazing evening. Have a great week. And we will see you all next week for hopefully energy to do some good stuff for us. Stay safe. Bye, guys.